genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about, but it's a terrible thing that's taking place, and farmers are being killed. They happen to be white, but whether they're white or black makes no difference to me. But white farmers are being brutally killed, and their land is being confiscated in South Africa. And the newspapers and the media, television media, doesn't even talk about it. If it were the other way around, they talk about it. That would be the only story they talk about.
The devil works hard, but Elon must work harder.
Welcome to America, where if you are a brown migrant, it takes on average 2 to 10 years just for one of you to earn legal citizenship. Just for somebody to racially profile you as illegal and call ICE on you to have your papers checked anyway. And God forbid you have too many tattoos or you exercise your First Amendment right. You're automatically assumed to be part of a gang and you're shipped to El Salvador with the rest of the brown migrants with no due process and no valid evidence presented in court. However, if you're a white migrant, you can just claim you're suffering from a white genocide in Africa and get P1 refugee status within 24 hours of your apartheid privileged life. America.
I just came up here to talk shit about y'all president because I'm just trying to figure out why he's letting the white South Africans into the United States, claiming that they are refugees and that they are oppressed. If you know anything about the history about the apartheid, you will know that that is absolutely not true. White South Africans own 70% of the land in South Africa because they were what? Say it with me, class. Colonizers! You lent liquors. Okay, so now they're coming over here, but Consuela and Enrique, they gotta go.
Hello guys, and welcome to the J Report. In today's video, we're going to talk about Black Americans' reactions to Trump's government rolling out the red carpet for palm-colored South African refugees while continuing to deport Black and brown immigrants in record numbers. For many in the Black community, this isn't shocking. It's just confirmation. They warned everyone this would happen. They said this was never about law and order, never about security. It was always about race. And now, in 2025, that truth is playing out in the most blatant way. If this is the kind of content you enjoy, please consider subscribing, liking and sharing so that YouTube may recommend it to a wider audience. And so now, without further ado guys, let's go straight into this video. But first, let me play you a few videos on this matter and I'll come back with my commentary. As a side note, all credit goes to the creators of these videos.
Yeah, it's a sad day in America. I woke up this morning to this news that a flight carrying a group of 59 white South Africans have been granted refugee status by the Trump administration, and they arrived in the United States on yesterday. Yeah, that's right. And they deporting people out of the United States. Remember that video we did about them deporting? Now they're accepting refugees. Let's check it out. Now, they were the first people to be granted refugee status by the Trump administration and are not expected to be the last Afrikaners to come to the United States. Now, I'm trying to figure out how in the world are we deporting people out of the U.S. Trump has even offered to give them $1,000 to get up out of here. You deport people, women, children, babies, everybody, only to have a charter plane from South Africa to bring 59 alleged refugees. Supposedly, they're saying that the South African government is taking these people farmlands. And what the South African government said, this is not even taking place yet. It's not taking place. Some of these people who've come over here are not coming over here allegedly on refugee status. They're coming over here just to get a better job. Y'all, I can't make this stuff up. Now, we all know Doge, the head of Doge, is from where, y'all? South Africa. Y'all, I'm telling you, something is definitely brewing. It is brewing. Hold tight. Let's continue to talk about it. Now that the refugees are here, guess what states are going to allow them in their state? The first one is Alabama, California, Idaho, Michigan, Minnesota, Montana, New York, Nevada, North Carolina, and Iowa. Now, several of the people granted refugee status have family ties already in the United States. Not only that, the South Africans will now have a pathway to U.S. citizenship and be eligible for government benefits as well. I can't make this up.
So let me get this straight. Mr. Orange,
refused Congolese refugees from coming to the States, right? Mind you, there's a whole civil war happening in Congo. Like, people are dying every day. Thousands of people are being misplaced every day, right? And then he refused for Sudan's refugees to come to the States. Again, a lot of wars happening in Sudan. People are dying, and a lot of people need refuge, right? He refused all those people from coming to the States. But he allowed 49 Afrikaners, aka white people that never belonged in South Africa, who went to South Africa, stole these people land, the money and everything. And up to this day, they still have their land, right? And there's like more black people in South Africa than white, but the white people have more power over the black people. Makes no sense. Anyways, you're telling me the white people in South Africa need more refuge than the people who have war going on in their country? Like, are we for real? There is no way. Like, you're telling me white people and the orange man talking about, oh, there's a genocide happening to the white Afrikaners in South Africa. Where? In what news? Because it's not in any news. Like, what are you talking about? I just feel like he just make up things as he goes.
Right now in the United States, Trump is leading the harshest immigration crackdown in recent history. Black and brown families who've lived in the US for years, some even decades, are being torn apart. Long-time residents from Haiti, Jamaica, Cuba, Venezuela, Nigeria, and Honduras are being deported. ICE raids are happening weekly. TPS is being stripped away. But in the middle of all this chaos, a very specific group is being welcomed with open arms. Palm-colored Afrikaners from South Africa. Black Americans are watching this unfold and shaking their heads because they see it for what it is, a race-based exception to the rule. These Afrikaners aren't fleeing war. They're not victims of famine. They're not stateless. They're not undocumented. They look like tourists, not refugees. In fact, people are calling them the healthiest looking refugees ever seen. And yet, they're getting fast-tracked, while black Haitians are being shackled and deported, while Nigerian and Sudanese families are being denied asylum. These palm-colored Afrikaners are being granted special protection. No raids, no panic. And black Americans are clocking it because they remember how Trump weaponized fear during his campaign, how he painted immigrants as criminals, how he used the border crisis to scare palm-colored voters, how he blamed black and brown migrants for everything wrong in America. And now suddenly the doors are open again, but only for palm-colored South Africans. Make it make sense. This isn't a refugee crisis, it's a race experiment. And many in the black community are saying, we told you so. They warned their neighbors, they warned other communities of color. They told voters what Trump's agenda really was, but too many people didn't listen. Some even voted for him, thinking they'd be spared. Now they're facing deportation while palm-colored foreigners are being offered homes, jobs, and legal protection. This moment has exposed everything. Black folks are asking, how can someone from a black country like Haiti or Sudan, who's literally escaping poverty, violence, or natural disasters, be seen as a threat, while someone from a powerful white minority in South Africa is treated like a helpless victim? It doesn't add up. And it's not just frustrating, it's insulting.
So, have you guys already heard? White South Afrikaners are getting refugee status in the US. The Trump administration is welcoming 50 Afrikaners, citing racial persecution in South Africa, mainly because of land reform and crime. But here's the thing, the US has frozen most refugee admissions, so why make this an exception here? The public is saying this is not about humanitarian aid, it's about race and politics. South African officials say Afrikaners are not being persecuted. They're actually among the most privileged groups in the country. So, what is good for one is good for all. In my opinion, if they are welcome here, why aren't the other refugees welcome to stay here? And then you want to give them, allegedly, cell phone, food, clothing, money, housing. So I'm confused. If it's good for them, it's good for other refugees as well.
Because let's be honest, Afrikaners are not powerless. They benefited from apartheid. They still control land, businesses, and wealth in South Africa. They are not the oppressed. And yet, they are being handed the refugee label by Trump. That label, by the way, which black and brown people have to fight tooth and nail to earn. That label, which people fleeing real danger often get denied. Now suddenly, it's being handed to palm-colored South Africans like a gift card. Black Americans see this for what it is: systemic bias, racial preference, Plain and simple. They see that whiteness is once again being used as a free pass. Meanwhile, black immigrants are being dragged out of their homes, their families destroyed overnight. Black Americans are tired of sounding the alarm while others ignore the sirens, tired of watching history repeat itself, tired of being gaslit. This latest move by Trump proves what they've known all along, that America still has two sets of rules, one for the white and wealthy, and another for the rest.
So this post is specifically for the people of color, black and brown, who are Trump supporters. Yesterday, he imported 49 white Afrikaners, giving them express refugee status, protective immigration status in America, under the fake claim that they are undergoing a genocide in South Africa. That's a lie. White Afrikaners still control the majority of the land in South Africa, and they still have retained the majority of the wealth. Americans, our tax dollars, funded their flight. They're going to receive housing on your dime. They're going to receive clothing. They're going to receive food, everything they need to sustain life in America. All while he's deporting brown and black people who have also gone through the immigration process, who have green cards, who are here legally. Don't y'all know this man is a Klansman? And he is showing you today that this is America.
And even some MAGA supporters are confused. They voted for closed borders. They supported deportations. Now they're seeing white immigrants arrive and settle in towns that were supposed to be full. It's hypocrisy at its finest. And once again, black folks are left saying, this ain't new, you're are just catching up. This isn't just policy, it's theater. Trump is using palm-colored South Africans to build a narrative that even palm-colored people in black-led countries are victims, that whiteness itself needs protecting. And black people are not fooled. And to make matters worse, the US government is using taxpayers' money, resources that could be helping struggling American families to settle these Afrikaner refugees, housing assistance, legal aid, and even job placement programs to make their transition smooth and comfortable. Meanwhile, black and brown communities across the countries are told there's no budget for better schools, safer neighborhoods, or basic healthcare. It's a slap in the face to see public funds go toward resettling people who aren't even in crisis, while citizens and long-term immigrants are treated like disposable burdens.
What about black people being discriminated against right here in the U.S.?
So what do you all think? Do you believe Trump's immigration decisions are really about safety and law? Or are they about race and privilege? And how many times do black folks have to be right before people start listening? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to keep this discussion going. Otherwise, that's it from me. I also have another video about Trump paying new mothers $5,000 to have babies. And if you enjoy such kind of content, please click up here and enjoy. Also, consider subscribing, liking and sharing because it helps me grow my channel. But for now, thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, the Joy Report out.